All right. So this is a little walkthrough if you need some help figuring out what it is that you are supposed to be doing with the assignment for today. So um, let me share this again. Subday folder. Right above this should be the instructions for today. Right below it, you'll find this video, which is the help video for today. So if you're struggling with this, you're not sure what to do, check out this, which I guess you'd already be checking it out if you were struggling. So I don't need to tell you that probably. I don't know. Open it up, either the PDF or the Word document. If you have Word, I would open up the Word doc. Excuse me, Word document. Excuse me. If you don't have Word on your computer and you're trying to open it in Google Docs or something, this is going to get all jacked up. So don't worry about that. Just open it as a PDF. So open this up. Your goal, I'm going to go through just the first one here so you can kind of see what needs to happen and what you should be doing in order to complete this. So first problem here. Well, first of all, we want to open up the circuit construction kit. So let's open that up real quick. Fed simulations, lab. All right, blank space. We want to build this circuit right here. So there's a couple things to note. This over on the left side, right? These are schematics. This is a battery. So battery goes on the left, and then each one of these squiggles in a box is a resistor. And right below it, it gives you the value for that resistor. So this resistor is going to be 40 ohms. This resistor is going to be 30 ohms. This resistor is going to be 70 ohms, and so on. So our first goal is just going to be to construct this circuit. So I'm going to build this circuit. Battery. And it doesn't have to look perfect, like exactly the same as what I built, but close is probably better than not as close. Resistor, excuse me. Man, I got something caught in my throat. Down. So we had a resistor on top, and then we had two resistors on the bottom. Hopefully I left myself enough space here. We shall see. Looks like I didn't. I'm gonna have to stretch this out a little bit. All right, and wire. Get my picture out of the way. And then back to the beginning. So coming from here, go down. And back to the battery. All right, so my circuit starts working. And I'm just going to double check to make sure this looks like battery, split, one resistor on top, two resistors on bottom, back together, and then back around to the battery. That's what I've got. Now I got to make sure that all of my values are correct. So I have the battery should be 12, and then 40, 30, and 70 for the resistors. So click on the battery. It says 9 volts right now, so I want that to be 12. So I'm going to adjust that, bring it up to 12 volts. There's that. Each of the resistors starts out at 10, which is not what I want. So this one, I think I said 40. I'll have to double check that. 40. This one was going to be 30, I think. Oh, 29. And this one should be 70. Too high. All right, so 40, 30, and 70 for my resistors, and 12 for my battery. Let me just double check. 12, 40, 30, 70. Good. So my resistor or my circuit is set up how I wanted the circuit to be set up. Battery, resistor, 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 and I have the battery and the resistors at the correct values, 12, 40, 30, and 70. Each one is set up the same way. It's just a slightly different variation of the resistors. So here, right, battery voltage resistor 1 is 10, resistor 2 is 20, resistor 3 is 15, all there to build a circuit. So the circuit is built. Now I want to answer these question marks, right? I want to know what is the current, I stands for current. What is the current through the battery? Then I want to know, all right, what is the voltage of resistor 1 and what is the current through resistor 1? What is the voltage and the resistor for this, or voltage and current for this resistor? What is the voltage and the current for this resistor? And what is the voltage and current for this resistor? So I want to know the voltage and current for all three of those. And if I scroll down to the bottom here, I have my answer sheet where I can put the current through the battery, voltage and current for resistor 1, voltage and current for resistor 2, and voltage and current for resistor 3. So I have a spot to answer all of those numbers. All right, so that's there for us. The last thing is figuring out how to measure all those, right? How do I get the voltages and the currents for each of these kind of circuit aspects? So if I go back to my simulation, I'm going to start with current because I think current's easier. If we pull out the middle one, current sensor, I can use this little crosshairs and drag it and figure out the current at any location in the circuit. So first I go over to the battery here. Current is 0.42. So I can go down. If I go back here, current through the battery was IT. That stands for total current, by the way. I would come down here and this was 0.42. Oops. Unit is amps. 0.42 amps. All right, there's my current through the battery. I also want current through resistor 1, which is the resistor on top here. I've got 0.3, so I can come back over here. Current is I through resistor 1 is 0.3. Is that what I said? Can't remember anymore. My brain's, yeah, 0.3. Okay, and then the two resistors on the bottom, 0.12 for resistor 2. And check this last one, 0.12 again. So 0.12. All right, so there we go. I've got the currents, total current through the battery, current through resistor 1, current through resistor 2, and current through resistor 3, all labeled there. The other part, right, second part is the voltages. I need to check the voltages. So this middle one, or this guy gives us the currents. I'm gonna put him back for a second. This first one on the right gives us the voltages. And to find the voltage, now we don't need to find, we don't need to find the voltage over the battery because we know the voltage over the battery. The voltage over the battery was 12. So that's there for us already. We don't need to know that. But we do need to know the voltage of resistor 1, voltage of resistor 2, and voltage of resistor 3. So I'm going to go ahead and measure those now. To measure voltage, we put one probe on one side, the other probe on the other side, and we get the voltage. We're going to just ignore the negative sign at the beginning. So the voltage over our first resistor here is going to be 12. So I'm going to come back here, voltage 1, 12 volts. Let's measure voltage 2. One side, the other side, 3.6. So I'll put that in, 3.6. And finally, the third resistor, one probe on one side, other one on the other side, 8.4 for that one, 8.4 volts. And there we go. That's all we're doing, right? So I've completed the first one. I built the circuit, right? First thing we got to do is build the circuit. I double checked to make sure the battery and each of the resistances were all the same or matched what I had in the problem. I did that, right? We can click on them, 40, 30, 70, and 12, just like it's supposed to be in the problem. And then I measured the stuff, right? We use the ammeter with the little crosshair to figure out current. We can just put the current sensor at each location here and figure out the currents. Those are the I's. And then we can use the voltmeter, one probe on each side, to measure the voltages everywhere as well. So that's what we're doing for 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've done 1 for you, so you guys are just doing 2, 3, and 4. Number 5 is a little bit different. number 5 doesn't tell you what the battery voltage is, but it does tell you what the current is. The current is 0.5 amps. So in number 5, you're going to have to put the current sensor, right? So where's my current sensor? This is obviously the wrong setup, but let's say I wanted this current to be 0.5 as well, right? Right now the current's 0.42. If I know that the current through the battery is 0.5, then I have to take my battery and I have to adjust it and figure out what the voltage is supposed to be. So in number 5, where it says this battery voltage is a question mark, we know the current through it. So put the current on here, right? Right now it's 0.42, which is incorrect. I want it to be 0.5. I would have to take this and start bumping it up until it gets to 0.5, which is right there. So like 14.3 volts would be the voltage of the battery. So that's how you figure out the voltage of the battery in those problems. And that happens in both 5 and in 6, right? In 5 and 6, we have the voltage as a question mark, but we know the current through the circuit. So we can figure out what the battery is there. And I think I have that reflected here. Voltage in 5 and 6. All right. So that's what we're working on today. That's what you need to do. I've done the first one for you. So you should have some idea at least about what to do. Good luck. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. All right.